Hi, my name is Kathryn Templeton, and I'd like to share with you just a synopsis of a case study supporting a client using the three wisdom traditions, yoga, Ayurveda, and psychology. I was working with a client in a clinical setting, and it was clear that this particular young man, the 16-year-old young man, who was struggling with a clinical diagnosis of obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD, was not benefiting from his weekly psychotherapy in the manner that we had hoped he would. He and I had worked on his treatment plan, and of course he was receiving clinical support from a physician at the clinic as well. We really weren't seeing him progress in feeling a sense of ease and relief from the symptoms. So we began using very simple practices of pranayama, breathing technique, in a systemic manner, first helping him learn diaphragmatic breath and practice that when he was in a calm state before he was experiencing the symptoms of obsessive and compulsive thinking and behavior. And then we started working with some other pranayams over the course of months, building his repertoire of three very specific pranayams, the diaphragmatic breathing, and then working with alternate nostril or nadi shodhana breathing, and finally working with shitali or cooling breathing. Using these in different ways to begin to navigate his stress response when he started feeling these symptoms, these attributes of obsessive thinking and compulsive behavior start to come upon him. Concurrent with that particular yogic intervention, I began to use the information we have in Ayurvedic medicine, creating a map for his circadian rhythms. So encouraging him to get up at the same time right at dawn every morning. And again, as dawn would shift through the months and through the seasons, we would make those adjustments so that his wake-up time would be at the moment of dawn. Of course, smartphones help us with that. And then the more difficult problem for him was adjusting that bedtime. And we agreed upon 11:30 for him because his bedtime was so varied. Just finding fixed points for him of wake up and sleep time were some of the most supportive things that we had offered him in our three wisdom traditions work. We went on to do a little bit of work with his diet and nutrition, encouraging him to start taking all 6 tastes at every meal. We didn't do any other adaptations according to that because he didn't do a lot of cooking at home. And again, he was really reliant upon his caregiver to support him with his cooking. But he did take the effort and make the initiative to at least cook and prepare one meal for himself with all 6 tastes. So the pranayama practices, the circadian rhythm set, and the 6 tastes were building his self-regulation and building his resiliency. And next we had to work on him with his adaptability. And that's where we started working with his yoga nidra practices. So this deep restorative sleep practice that we offered him. He was only able to take the sleep practice after we had mastered a little bit of the pranayama and the circadian rhythms. And finally, we used CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. This is something we had been doing, and again, not finding much real change in his ability to have more freedom of thinking. However, over the course of a year and a half, 18 months of working progressively with these practices, we started noticing per his report and per his caregiver and his school's report that he was having a little bit less trouble with his obsessional thinking and subsequently his compulsive behaviors. So we take this as a success, mainly because this young man was able to take these tools. By the time he left our practice, when he was 18, we could no longer see him. We're a child guidance clinic. And when he went into his adult life and his adult therapies, he had already learned how to be able to support himself in these very basic but very important ways. And we really felt like there was hope that this young man would continue to progress as he was able to continue taking care of himself and being in charge of his health and wellness through yoga, Ayurveda, and psychology, or the three wisdom traditions. I hope you found this of use, and I hope that you can see how we can use these systemic practices in a specific methodology for individual support as an adjunctive therapy. For more information, feel free to contact me. hello@kathryntempleton.com, or again, look for information on more case studies and articles on yogainternational.com or on banyanbotanicals.com. Thank you for your time.